This is the CrownTalk podcast with Crown Riri. Hi out there to my Crown ones. This is Rebecca, aka Crown Riri. Thank you so much for pressing play. If you are enjoying CrownTalk podcast, please leave a comment and let me know. And also share with other Crown ones. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, please. There is no machine behind me, so any support is welcome. Thank you again for pressing play, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Crown Talk. Don't forget your crown, and don't forget your crown. Hi, my name is Rebecca, aka Crown Riri, and this is Crown Talk podcast. Hello out there to all of my Crown ones. And I have a special guest. I'm so excited. I have Mr. Manoj Argwal here. Hi, how are you?
Hi, thanks a lot for having me. So excited to be here.
No problem. Thank you for asking to come on my show. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
No problem. Now, I Googled you and a lot of stuff came up, so I tried to narrow it down because you have like a lot of crowns that you wear. Let me know if I got it correct. You are an entrepreneur, technology leader, innovator, a chief tech officer, founder of Tetra Noodle.
Yeah.
Also the host of a podcast called Bootstrapping Your Dreams.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, thank you. And you have a wonderful story that I wanted you to share on my show today. Can you just inform us more information about you and how you got started, basically?
Yeah. So, I grew up in India, in a very small town in India, and started working at 15. I was working in a factory. I was studying. I was working 6 days a week and 12 hours a day for $2 a day. And then, from there, like I just got into computers and I fell in love with programming, and that led me to, getting better jobs. And eventually I came over to North America. And from there, I started working with a lot of startups and worked with some really cool projects which were incubated within companies like Microsoft and Pearson and very large scale companies. I've been having a lot of fun, tried a lot of different technologies, built a lot of cool products which helped millions and millions of people around the globe. So that has been really, really cool experience.
Well, and how long have you been doing the entrepreneurship now?
Well, so my whole journey has been around entrepreneurship because I've been a consultant, software consultant for last 20 years.
Wow.
So that's how long it has been.
Okay. And I know I listened to your podcast, which is a very motivational to me. I'm not doing like in the tech industry, but a lot of things that are said are just like applied to like everyday life. How important is it to just spread positive messages to motivate people to create or to be an entrepreneur?
Well, I mean, in my experience, that is the only way it works, actually, because at the end of the day, if you're not in alignment, it's like, life has multiple pillars. So you cannot have one pillar, which is prosperity and success in your business, be lopsided and be more prominent than other pillars in your life. So if you don't have your personal life in check and everything is good, if you don't have your own personality, you're not feeling guilt or any of those negative feelings we carry along and tell negative stories to ourselves, it becomes really hard to have all those things balanced and have prosperity. So in my opinion, like once you start balancing everything out, that's when you start experiencing the whatever you want to achieve, that starts to show up. So I think it's very important. Does that answer your question? Or
I think balance is very important. I'm trying to learn balance because I do my podcasting and then I work and I come home. I don't have kids, but I have 2 dogs. They're like my kids. And it's just finding that balance where to me it's like if I work 8 hours at work, then when I get home, I should be able to work at least 4 hours on my creative idea that I have. So yeah, I feel like balance is very important. No matter like what you like you said, everything needs to be in place per se.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So how do you find that balance, if you don't mind me asking, as far as, with your entrepreneurship and then with your tech stuff and then also with, motivating other people?
I mean, it's all the same. I mean, they're not different at all. I I mean, the thing is, like, I talk to people every day. Whatever I talk to them about, we're trying to solve a problem. I talk about that the next day in my content that, I had a conversation with somebody else and this is all, this is how we solve the problem.
Right.
So it's just recycling the whole cycle of conversations and helping people solve their problems. Yeah. I mean, it's all related to technology, startups, businesses,
Yeah.
venture capitalists, trying to find good deals, and startups looking for funding and things of that nature.
Right. And how, because I one word that you kept saying was problem solving. A lot of people don't like dealing with problems, but I'm believing that, in your area, problem solving is like having a problem is a good thing. Is that correct?
Not really. You should not have problems, but the thing is, problems are part of life. So you just have to expect that problems are going to happen.
Right.
So you just gotta be ready to deal with them. That's it. You just cannot. You just can't like say, okay, now this is a problem, and then you may have a series of problems one after the other, but you just cannot give up, because ultimately what I have found is the harder the problem, it's a way for nature to tell you that you need to aim a little bit higher. It's just you just whatever you were trying to do is kind of like too little for you. You just aim a little bit higher, because the bigger the problem, the harder you will try, the more you will learn, and the further you will go, right?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was actually talking to a friend of mine, and I was saying that, the first time you try something, it's a challenge. The second time you do it, you're kind of like mediocre with it. You kind of understand it. Maybe the third time, you may be an expert at it, where, you might get paid for it because, it's like, okay, I already know this issue or problem. Now it's the third time, like, I got it. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that because I follow you on Facebook, and one of the things that you were saying that it's very important to have a journal. And I wanted just to, if you could just like let my crown ones know about that. Because I have a journal, like everywhere I go, like I'm always writing something down. Even when I'm at work, if I have an idea, I just jot it down and put it like in my phone or in my notebook. But how important is it to like have your ideas on paper or just writing stuff down?
So, everybody has their own experience. With me, the problem is I forget a lot of things, because I'm always constantly thinking about 10 different things. I tend to forget things, and what used to happen was ideas used to come. Okay, this is something I should work on someday, and then I used to just forget about them, and so I needed a way to keep track of them. So journaling helped there. But then I started discovering, one other aspect that came to light was, as we are going through life, we are always worried about today. What are the problems we are facing today, right now? So we're always in this state of worry that, we're not progressing enough, we're not making enough ground. But if you start to journal and we start to record what state are we in, if we review it 3 months later, we know, okay, I was there 3 months before, and now I'm here. I've learned so much. Seriously, how did it happen, right? Yeah. And we tend to lose track of all that if you don't journal. But if you start to journal, you can start to see your own progress. And that's it's just very uplifting to see how far you've come. So
Right.
those are the two things which I have found very beneficial.
Yeah, now that you think about it, because yeah, like if you look back and be like, okay, well, this is how far I came. It gives you more like a push or a motivation to keep going. It's like I already went through this stuff, so prepared for anything else.
Yeah, and then there's another thing. When you start to record your problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
You say, it's not working. This, I'm trying this Facebook ad thing. It's not working. I don't understand what's going on. And then you journal it, and then through hit and trial, blah blah blah, you actually eventually end up solving that problem, right?
Right.
Now, once that problem is solved, it's just gone from your psychology, right? Like you move
Right.
on to the next problem. But then if you go back and read that, what it used to be like, all what you used to think about all day long, and
Right.
now it's gone. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Uh, so now you can see, like, it gives you more food for thought while you're thinking about current problems as well,
Yeah. That
because
makes sense.
because you know that you're going to solve it. It's not a big deal to just wrap your mind around it and just devote
Yeah.
yourself, worry yourself to death, because it's just a problem that you'll solve sooner or later, right?
Right. Yeah. Because like you said, once your mind like stuck on that problem, then you solve it. Just like, okay, like what now? Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Um, So I'm not an entrepreneur, but I consider like podcasting like a content creation thing or what have you. Now, I know like certain people, should the goal of an entrepreneur or anybody that's trying to work on their own be making money, or should it be more than that?
No, it's never making money, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that is the big problem that most people face. That they the problem is that there is no yardstick in our society for what is fulfillment. So
Mm-hmm.
um, in general, everybody has come together and said, okay, let's use money as a yardstick, as a
Right.
common yardstick. And then so everybody wants to excel at that common yardstick, right?
Yeah.
uh, but if we personalize that unit of measure, it could be happiness, it could be the amount of travel, it could be how well your kids are doing, it could be how many paintings you are painting. Like,
Yeah.
these are very individual choices. So I think that's where you should start. Once you become aware of exactly what makes you happy,
Mm-hmm.
that's your unit of measure. And you should measure everything through that unit of measure, that okay, this is what makes me really happy. and
Right.
and how many times I have been able to do that, how many different ways I've been able to do that. um, I think if you go from that point of view, then in most cases money also becomes a byproduct of this activity.
Right. And then also like what you're saying with that, it's like if you make money your goal and if you don't make the money that you're trying to measure out, and I think that's when people start to like stay like dwindle away from what their dream is, because it's like they're not making the money from it.
Yeah, yeah, and they give up. I mean, they get scared. I think they're scared. Like, that's another thing. The society has made us in such a way that we are, like, we get scared that, okay, if I don't get a paycheck next month, what's gonna happen?
Yeah,
Uh, you
that's
know,
me.
so that that puts an artificial boundary around us that we
Hmm.
never want to cross over,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, that's why there are, I mean, in today's age, it's so easy to have both. You can have a dream,
Hmm.
as you said, like, you can work on your dream for 4 hours a day, and you
Yeah.
can have your job as well and transition over. This was never possible uh, before internet and all this technology was available.
Right.
This is the only time that it has been possible now.
That's very true. Yeah, I have a job and I went for a position and then I didn't get the position and I was okay with it, because where I am now, it allows me to have that creativity even while I'm working. I can like listen to other podcasts. I can write down things. And like certain people in my coworkers that understand, they're like, you're not upset that you didn't get the other position. And I was like, no, I'm fine because I'm creating at home. I call it like I'm building my spaceship in the basement. Yeah. So I think, like you said, it's not always about money. It's like, what other benefits do you have where you are or where you're trying to get to? Yeah. So how important is support for people? Because I think we live in like this social media thing where it's just like everybody, either if they don't get support, they stop pursuing their dream, or if they don't get like enough support, they don't like self-motivation right now. I feel like it's very lacked in a sense.
So the thing is, if you have support, that's awesome. I mean, there's nothing like that. You know, I really wish that you guys have some unconditional support.
Right.
But the thing is that whatever, like if you're doing something that fits within the the norm of what everybody thinks is a normal thing to do, then you will find a lot of support. You know,
right.
You want to go to college, you want to like be a sports, like I mean, something that's not too risky, you'll find a lot of support because it's not too far off from the comfort level of everybody around you.
Right.
But if you think of doing something extraordinary, you will not find a lot of support because it's a lot of risk. People are not comfortable with risk, right? So let's say a family of doctors, one of their kids, they say, I don't want to go into medical school. I just want to try this thing out on the internet or something like that.
Yeah.
That's going to be very too further out from the comfort level of the family. They're not gonna find a lot of support in that case. But now, once you start to, like, you just say, okay, I can see my vision. I think, it's gonna work. You start to bring in the results. As you start to bring in the results, that's when you start going to find the support.
Right.
Because now you have made it less risky for other people. It's like people who didn't want to take the risk, now they can see, okay, it's not as risky. So now we can come in and support you. Now, whether that's for negative purpose, positive purpose, whatever. Yeah. But the thing is, like, if you're breaking new ground, you gotta show the results before people support you.
Yeah, I think that's important that you said that because sometimes it takes a while, and I know like a lot of people say that we live like in a microwave generation where it's like if you don't get to your plan of A, B, and C by like 3 months, and it's like, okay, like try something else or you're done. So like I know that it's important to like continue having your dream, like you said, so people can see the outcome of them saying, oh, okay, like that person did it, they followed their dream. So that's very important. Yeah. So thank you for that.
Yeah, following the dream and then taking action, even a little bit of an action every day is important.
Yeah. So now I understand you created Tetra Noodle, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So how did that like come along for you? Was that just something that you were just wanting to do for yourself, or?
No, that's a consulting company I've had for 20 years. So
okay.
We work with a lot of startups, and that's it. Like, that's why I was saying, like, everything is one. It seems like I'm doing a lot of things, but it's all related to that one thing.
Oh, okay. And what is your goal with startups? Because I know like that's like a very, like, you have to like invest in that person basically is what a startup is. So how is that important to you?
I mean, it's like the ultimate creation that somebody embarks on. When they see that, okay, there's a gap in the market, I want to fill that gap. I will do it in such a way that it'll serve somebody, solve the problem or whatever.
Right.
It's like creating something out of nothing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, uh, so it's almost like it could be considered art, right, in some way.
Yeah.
So, and that's what's exciting. Like, every new startup, some people are solving hunger problems, some people are solving, productivity problems. Like, uh, like there are some things happening around the globe, mind-blowing things.
Right.
Different type of materials are being invented. So over the next 10, 20 years, I mean, the life as we know it is going to be transformed.
Mm-hmm.
So just being part of all this is so exciting.
Yeah, no, I think I remember talking to a friend and I was like, sometimes we are here to create things that we can't even see versus like looking at something and trying to add on to it. So yeah, that makes sense. So from there, now from your podcast, you always invite someone to just give some information. Again, your podcast is called Bootstrapping Your Dreams. Now, what created that podcast?
What? I mean, it was bootstrapping my dream.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, so as I was involved in consulting for the longest time, I was trying to figure out how to grow the business.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a technology person. I don't know anything. I didn't know much about marketing at that time.
Right.
So I tried to run some ads, and I tried to do, few things that you try to learn in digital marketing, and most of the things didn't work. So then I worked with a very nice person, a mentor, and he suggested that I start a podcast. And I was like, I haven't listened to a podcast in 5 years. I have no idea what to do with that. So he said, no. I think you have some ideas that other people may like.
Mm-hmm.
So just start it and call it bootstrapping, because I believe in bootstrapping. I always tell people, hey, you should think about bootstrapping a business. So yeah, he encouraged me, and I didn't think much of it until 3-4 months later. It was like in the top 200 in business category. I'm like,
oh wow,
how did this happen? So I guess, yeah, I mean, it just grew from there, and yeah, that was the story behind it.
Yeah, I was reading the description of it, and I think it's very important for people to know like the background story, because sometimes people think that, it's like an overnight success, and that's not what it is. It's, there's a background to the story per se.
Yeah, there's always a background. Yeah, there's always a background. Everybody has a story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is a lot of people do not like to share it. Some people have very painful stories.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. It's just fascinating. When you talk to people and then you learn about their story, you find out that everybody has a different dimension, but the similar storyline. Because as you come across people and you start to learn about them, everybody has gone through certain hardships in their life to get to wherever they are right now.
Right. Yeah, I think like because I have CrownTalk, but I said we have crown moments where either you're going to learn a life lesson from the experience. I don't believe like in curses. I just believe like if something happens, it's for us to learn a lesson from it. And next time it happens again, because life is a cycle, like we'll be more prepared for it. But yeah, I love like having conversations with people to get like a better understanding of them. And then it's like, oh, okay, this is your crown moment, or, however that goes. So yeah, understandable. But how important is it to not get stuck on like a negative thing in your life, but make it, something more rewarding for you per se?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah. How important is it to not like just get stuck on a negativity when you're creating, versus just, allowing that to be like a life lesson or something to learn from?
I mean, the thing is, negativity is part of it. Like I've tried to be, I've tried to be more puristic and say, oh, okay, don't be negative. But some negative thoughts come your way anyways. But the idea is that you need to train your mind to focus on the positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just say, okay, I know things may not be looking good today, but let's see what else happened today that was good.
Mm.
There's got to be something that happened that was good.
Right.
So now you just take that inventory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you were saying, I lost that client. Oh my goodness, that server broke down, or the payment didn't go through, whatever.
Right.
But then there are 5 things that went wrong. Then you can start to say, okay, let's see what are the good things that happened today, and then say, okay, I didn't run into an accident.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah, right?
Right.
So many good things happened today, and so then now you just need to shift that focus. Negativity is still there, but
Right.
then you just have shifted the focus, right?
Yeah.
So, make sense?
Yeah, and you can also put it in your journal
Yeah.
as well. Now, let me ask you, because I know that you are on social media and you're always giving out advice and letting people know what you're doing. How do you balance social media?
I don't. Again,
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, like, I'm so I'm still trying to learn this thing. So I'm very surprised when people ask me, what do you do with it? All
Yeah.
it is, I'm, as I said, I have a lot of conversations with people, and I just document those conversations. And I have a small team, and they've been with me for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
They understand how I think and how I want to portray the messaging. So they take all that raw material, and then they convert it into posts. We review it on daily basis, and then they just post it. So
Okay.
for me, it's more like it's more like just I'm just having conversations with people that gets documented in some way.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes, maybe I should do that, because sometimes, like, I try to, because I have my podcast and I have to be on social media, but to me sometimes social media can be so draining because it's like a billboard where like 85% of it may be negative, and then that 15% may be positive, and it's like you have to like swamp through the negativity to get to like a positive post. And it's like you have to, like me personally, like I'll be like, okay, for an hour I'm not looking at my phone, just try to filter my own mind of everything that's going on in the world. So yeah, but then again, like I have to promote my podcast at the same time, so it's like, where's that balance?
Well, there are. I mean, the thing is, like, it's just like social media is just like the world. There are bad pockets, and
Mm-hmm.
there are good pockets, right? There are good areas, there are bad areas.
Yeah.
So in some areas you don't want to go, some areas you do want to go. And
Right.
so the thing is, like, and on social media, what I found is just try to find those good nooks and
Mm-hmm.
stay in there. Like be part of positive groups and things of that nature. Friend positive people, and automatically, like, I mean, at least Facebook is smart enough to figure out what your intent is from your actions. So
Yeah.
you leverage it to your advantage. Start to defriend, unfriend people, who have a negative impact, and
Right.
start to friend people who have positive impact, and let the AI do the good thing for you, and build your feed accordingly, right?
Yeah. I didn't think about that. Now, one thing I heard you say was that you surround yourself by people who understand you, that are working with you. How important is that, to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people, per se?
Yeah, that's very important. Without a team, it's really impossible to do much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, um, yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, we all have our shortcomings. So if we don't recognize those shortcomings and fill them in by collaborating with others,
Yeah.
uh, it's just not going to work, because as far as I know, nobody is know it all. Everybody needs help in certain areas.
Right. Yeah, I'm learning how to do that, because I always say, like, I have trust issues where it's just like, or sometimes like I feel like I'm the only person that knows my vision, so I have to do it myself. But I'm learning how to, talk to other creatives like me that understand, okay, if you can't do this, then I can help you.
Well, No, see, the thing is, like, you need to see your vision as being fluid.
Okay.
So a vision should be, again, I mean, I'm just sharing you my thought here, right?
Yeah.
Uh, you should, it's okay to be flexible and take feedback from the environment and change your vision accordingly,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's okay to share your vision and get feedback from others, and not be too, not hold on too tightly to your vision that it's not flexible enough. Let's
Right.
say, the, to your point, if you collaborate with somebody and somebody points out, maybe you should do it certainly differently, and there's a good point there. It's okay to be flexible in your vision and keep improving yourself.
Right.
So and then trust is not about uh, uh, trust is not about other people, or trust is not about yourself. If you can just trust that things will work out, everything will work out,
Hmm.
and we are just participants in that working out,
Right.
and that's the base trust you need to have, right?
Oh, I like that.
So once you have that base trust, then everything else is again fluid. It's like interactions are happening. uh,
Right.
There'll be like, zigs and zags, and problems will come in, but eventually we'll get there somehow, as long
Right.
as that base trust is there, right?
Right. Okay, that makes sense. So, like, don't trust the person, just trust the process of it coming out how it's
Yeah,
supposed to be.
yeah. Trust the right person will show up. Trust that if things don't work out, you'll go separate ways, in an amicable way, and
Mhm.
then another right person will show up. I mean, that's the that's the zig and zag of life, right?
Right.
But as long as you trust that, okay, I'm going in the right direction, and you make sure you are going in the right direction,
Right.
by getting that feedback, uh, then yeah, you get there eventually, zigging and zagging.
Oh, yeah, you gave me a crown moment. Thank you. Because sometimes like I said, I can be like really selfish with my vision. I'm just like, I just have to do it myself. I have to do that. But like you said, it's not really me trusting the person, it's trusting the process.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Thank you. So one thing that I always ask my guests is to share with me one of their crown moments, and that can be like a wonderful thing that happened in your life, or it can be like a life lesson that you learned along the way. Like I said, I believe that we're all crowned and that we are all valuable, wise people. So, do you have a crown moment to share with us?
Well, I mean, for me, my family is the biggest treasure I have. So my main three family members, my wife and my two kids,
Aw,
as they came into my life, those were my biggest crown moments, of course.
wonderful.
So yeah,
And how was it moving? Because now you're in Canada, correct?
yeah, yeah.
So, how was that move to get to Canada?
Oh, it was very exciting. I mean, I love adventure, so it was the ultimate unknown.
Oh,
So yeah, I mean, it was just an unknown thing, and it was like, okay, let's see what we can do here. Roll up our sleeves and just get to work.
wow. Awesome. Yeah, I used to stay in Fairbanks, Alaska, but I never made it to Canada. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Alaska is quite different. Like, everybody thinks that Canada is very cold, but Vancouver is, sort of mild weather.
Right.
So we're surrounded by mountains and sea. So it's generally mild weather throughout the year.
Yeah, I always say that I always like go experience because I'm here in Florida, but when I was telling people I live in Alaska, they think that we stayed in like pitch black dark for like
Mhm.
16 hours. I was like, no, it's not like, like you see in National Geographic or people, I always get the question like, do you live in igloos? And I'm like, no, we have apartments and houses and stuff. Like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, you have to go there to experience it.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to share with our crown ones?
No, that's it. I mean, if somebody wants to connect with me, welcome. I'm active on Facebook and LinkedIn. Or they can visit my website, tetranoodle.com. There's lots of free resources, a lot of free stuff available. So feel free to consume and share with your friends and family.
Yeah, so you have classes, or is it like free information about Tetranoodle, or just
No, there are some video series which explain, like, one is about mindset and how what you should be doing for success.
mhm.
The second one is more on the technology, like if you want to build a technology startup.
Right.
It's talking more about that, the series of steps you should be taking and thinking about as you're building your startup.
Okay. Yeah, I know like a lot of people now I was reading are like being entrepreneurs are investing more in startups because it's like the new wave, not the new wave, but like a new generation coming that are just, wanting to create everything from the ground up. So it's important. Well, wonderful that you're giving them information.
Yeah. I mean, that's the exciting part. If you can help somebody to, like, actually avoid some mistakes or
Mm-hmm.
get there quicker. I mean, that's a pretty good thing. And, eventually it solves somebody else's problem. So
Yeah.
it's just it's a good way to accelerate all that process.
Right. Yeah, I'm a big person of support because I feel like regardless of what I'm doing, like, I don't believe in like competition because it's like what I'm doing is different than what that person's doing. And like you said, you may solve the problem this way, I may solve it that way, but we may come together and solve like a whole nother problem that we didn't even know about. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Very important. Well, thank you so much for joining me on Crown Talk. I definitely do appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
You're welcome. And I'll make sure to have my crown ones follow you and listen to your podcast, Bootstrapping Your Dreams.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
This is the Crown Talk podcast with Crown Riri. Hi out there to my Crown Ones. This is Rebecca, aka Crown Riri. Thank you so much for pressing play. If you are enjoying Crown Talk podcast, please leave a comment and let me know. And also share with other Crown Ones. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, please. There is no machine behind me, so any support is welcome. Thank you again for pressing play, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Crown Talk. Don't forget your crown, and don't forget your crown.